Hey, it's been a while. What on earth has been happening? When I last did this, the summer holidays hadn't happened yet. And I was not that far away from completing a massive project. Well, I did that. And during the holidays, the idea was every Wednesday I would hang out with the kids, but other than that I worked, and do you know what? It worked. It meant I was able to really focus on work when I was working and focus on having fun with the kids when I was meant to be having fun with the kids. So just dropped our little girl off at nursery for the last time, her last ever day of nursery. So that was a lot more emotional than you think it's going to be. Silly, you know, we've been going there for like 7 years though. It also feels, and it's emotional because you're saying, you know, that when your kid goes from nursery to school, that it all starts to change. So you're saying goodbye to that as well. Her going to that place really links into me becoming self-employed as well, because I quit my full-time job when my wife was on maternity leave. And when I first was technically working for myself, she wasn't at nursery. I would work around her naps, which she was bad at having. I would work at night, I would work at the weekends, and frankly I didn't have that much work. A lot of it was trying to get work. And then 3 months into that, work had picked up and I needed more time, and so we put her into the same nursery as our son was going to at the same time. But throughout that whole time she would always have Wednesdays off. So every Wednesday I wouldn't work, I would just hang out with her. And I've just got more and more work over the past few years, and now suddenly she's going to be at school. It's crazy how fast her time there has gone, but also how fast my time has gone. I'll tell you what though, I'm so glad that I was able to do what I've done, and yeah. Anyway. And so I worked and we went away for a couple of weeks, and yes, I took my massive iMac with me, and yes, I did some work while on holiday, but it was okay, it didn't get in the way, especially in the second week when I didn't do any work at all. I really focused on hanging out with the family. It is the last day of our family summer holiday. During the school holidays, I've hired the virtual assistant again. I feel rude saying the virtual assistant, but in the last episode I did, that was kind of like a breakthrough moment, and I very happily hired Sadie again to do more work on the project, and she's been awesome again. I love the way that she doesn't just do what I ask, but sees other things. Hello everyone, say hi. Sees things and tells me about problems that she can see. Do you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't just do what I say, she does what she thinks is right, which is awesome. Well, we did it. It is Friday, the 1st of September, and all of this year, essentially, I've been working on one core project, as you've probably noticed. I've been working on loads of others as well, but one thing on a regular basis And they have just launched all of the videos, the infographics, the documents, and plenty more besides that I haven't been involved in, into the wild. It is out there. And this is a good feeling on Trello. Empty on the left, and then full of stuff that we have made on the right. And early on during the holidays, I was still vlogging, well rather I was still filming, and then I realised I didn't really have enough time to film the vlog, and to edit the vlog, and to keep the podcast going, and to do all the client work I had to do, and to have fun with the family, and something had to give. So I made it the vlog and the podcast, because you can't do it all, and you've got to know when to give something up. But the trouble was, then I kind of got out of the habit. It's a bit like running. Don't know if you run. I find as soon as I stop that first time, it's kind of like it's really difficult to get going again. You get out of the rhythm of running, and that's what happened to me with doing these side projects. So there we are, 1st of October. I can't believe, suddenly that whole summer period is over, we're into autumn. But it feels good to have the podcast back up. The new episode is Ben Warburton, filmmaker, really good chap. And also, I've edited the vlog, and I really enjoyed doing it. So thank you so much for watching it. It would be awesome if you think about hitting subscribe and turning on notifications, and tell other people about it as well if you find it useful. But thank you so much to everybody who kicked me up the rear end to get back on the vlogging and podcast train. But one thing which is really kind of like driven home over the last couple of months was something I read in a book. I think it might have been Tim Ferriss's Tools of Titans. And it kind of echoes a question that I ask in every episode of the Being Freelance podcast, which is, if you could tell your younger self one thing about being freelance, what would that be? But it's flipping that on its head and thinking, what would my future self tell me now? What would me in 10 years' time tell me now? And I kind of get scared at that point and worry that 48-year-old me will say, dude, you really, at which point I go, dude, you're 48, why are you calling me dude? No, but like we'll go, man, you really should have spent more time with your kids when they were little. And I know you were around, and I know you were hanging out with them and trying your best. But all of those times sitting on the sofa on a Saturday night watching Strictly Come Dancing, they matter to the kids. Those times in the morning when you're doing puzzles or drawings or whatever, instead of, having a coffee in another room and trying to do a bit of sneaky work, they matter. Being there for your kids when they were like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that point when they really want to hang out with you, that mattered and you didn't do it. I don't want me in 10 years to look back and think about that. And that's the thing, is in order to make the podcast and do the vlog, I do have to sit in another room sometimes when the family is watching TV, like watching a movie on a Sunday afternoon like they're going to do today, and crack on with this sort of work. But actually, those times do matter, I think. Because I've had lots of them over the summer and I valued them. And likewise, I don't want future me to look back and say, why weren't you sitting with your wife instead of sitting in another room every night? I don't know, maybe we always beat ourselves up, whatever we do. If I spend all the time with the kids now, future me might be going, why didn't you do more work? You still don't have a pension.